Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Alireza. You can hear me?
Yes, I do hear you.
Yes, okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yes.
Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you again. All the best to you. And of course, the latest issue. We are going to discuss the latest issue. Now that the ceasefire plan, or supposedly the peace plan, has failed following the talks in Islamabad over the last weekend, what is the way forward for Iran, given that the tendency of the US, while apparently trying to free itself from perpetual open war with Iran, still has to contend with the pressure coming from Israel? So what is the way forward for Iran in this context?
First of all, let me say hello to our friends, colleagues, and the very beloved people of Malaysia.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Can see us later. It is always very important to be in contact with our brothers and sisters in that part of the world. And you know, we have been in touch for years, and it's always a pleasure to be with you. And thank you for your invitation. It's somehow it's a very complicated issue. You know that we have been trying very hard for years to talk to the international community to in fact waiver their concerns, their announced concerns about the Iranian peaceful nuclear program. During last 1 year, we have been in negotiations with the US in indirect talks, now in Islamabad again, direct talks to reach to a kind of compromise to solve the concerns of both sides. And you know, we were in the middle of a very serious and real negotiations when the 12-day war happened. Again, yes, we were in the middle of a very serious negotiation with good faith when the current war happened. And based on the fact that the mediator, the foreign minister of Oman, has always repeated that the agreement was within reach during the negotiations, it shows that we have been in the negotiations with good faith with the Americans. But always diplomacy was betrayed, the negotiation table was betrayed, and it is a very big concern for us. We again entered the negotiations with the United States, but this time, based on the previous experiences, it was not based on the trust, and we were there based on a kind of mistrust with some hesitations, but again, with good faith. This was very clear from the Iranian side. And as was mentioned, the negotiations was very serious. What we heard from the negotiation table, there were so many ideas, some of them very thoughtful ideas on the table, and it seemed that both sides are reaching to a kind of compromise. But at the end, based on the maximalist demands of the United States, and worse than that, the maximalist demands of the Israeli sides, because it seemed to the Iranian side that the United States is representing Israel in the negotiation table. They are not only pursuing their own national interest, but
Yes.
based on the fact that the America first has now turned to Israel first,
Could I just touch on that part which you were just mentioning? Because I think that the whole issue of aggression against Iran is more the result of Israel's ambitions of greater Israel rather than America wanting to come to war, basically
yeah,
against Iran. So can you
yeah,
comment on that?
yeah. Of course, now it is very clear. During the war, this was some kind of suspicion, but now it has been confirmed even by the United States, by the officials and their think tankers, that this was the agenda of Bibi Netanyahu, which
Yes,
was imposed on Trump against the national interest of the United States themselves. So, um, I mean, Iranian people, Iranian nation, and even the American nation was sacrificed for the agenda of Bibi Netanyahu and Israelis. So again, in this recent negotiations between Iran and the United States, what I heard from our people in the negotiation table, again, um, because of the concerns of the Israelis, they could not decide. They have been in touch and in contact repeatedly during the negotiations with different sides, which is clear to us.
yes, because
So they could not decide based on their own national interest. But I think still there are some chances. Of course, it might not be misperceived by the United States that Iran is going to compromise its national security. Iran is not going to compromise its national interest. Um, One very important issue is the misperceptions of the US side from the battlefield, from the result of the battlefield. Um, what we hear from Trump um, repeatedly, he is always telling the people that US has won, Iran has been defeated, which is not in accordance with what happened in real ground in the battlefield. So it is very important to understand that reality. If they are lying to their own people, at least in the negotiation table, they should understand that these lies are not going to work.
but when you mention about this thing, especially when you mention the maximalist demands, normally uh, this is actually the strategy of Israel, actually, because the nuclear issue has been stressed, overly stressed by the American side at the behest of Israel, actually, because I think from day one, Netanyahu has been mentioning about the so-called nuclear program of Iran, and Iran is just how many months away from the bomb, how many weeks away from the bomb, and you keep on playing on this, and that is why, maybe, as per what the analysts have been mentioning, the failure of the talks in Islamabad mainly was also due to this issue, which was uh, America didn't want to compromise at all. It just went on the Israeli line of saying that you must dismantle the nuclear program.
Yeah.
So, which is, I think, against the Iranian national interest.
It is against the interest of the whole region. It is against the interest of the whole world, in fact. I should add to this uh, concept of maximalist demand by the United States. In fact, in the Israeli side, it is a kind of maximalist eliminationist demands. They don't want anyone but themselves to be a, a big power an influential power in the region. They want to defeat, they want to weaken all powers in the region based on their this maximalist eliminationist demands and ambitions, which is very dangerous for the whole region. Now, we have been witnessing during last few months this ambitions getting more clear and more evident to the people in the region. And I think, everyone in the world now should understand that this is a very big danger for the whole world, not only for our region. They have been pursuing occupation of their adjacent countries in the region. Now they are pursuing this very dangerous ambition, as I said, which is very risky. The security arrangements in the region are now very fragile based on this, as I said, maximalist, eliminationist ambitions of the Israelis.
One of the main points in the discussions was, of course, what was raised was about the Strait of Hormuz. Now, as we all know, Strait of Hormuz is in Iran. It is not in somewhere in the Pacific or somewhere else. So Iran has a right over the Strait of Hormuz. Now, what is this? What is the status of the Strait of Hormuz at the moment? And the US is threatening to send the latest statement by the Washington is that it's going to Trump himself that is going to send the Navy to the region, and he's you're smiling, but the thing is he's threatening to send the Navy and things like that. I would like to hear your comments on this issue.
Yeah, as you rightly mentioned, the Strait of Hormuz is not in international waters. It is in territorial water of Iran and Oman.
Yes.
These two countries are littoral states to Strait of Hormuz. The Strait of Hormuz is very important for many countries around the world because at least 25% of the energy flow of the whole world is coming from this strait of a very important strait. But for years, Iran has been cooperating with the world, just trying to provide security, just trying to provide those services in the region. These tankers, big ships are moving through the Strait of Hormuz. There are so many issues. I mean, environmental issues, security issues, and other issues, which is the result of this flow of energy through this Strait of Hormuz. But now, as it is very regular in other straits around the world, Iran has decided to use its authority and its right to in fact to provide more security, to try to find some ways to better management of this strait. And it is, the Strait of Hormuz is not closed, as was repeatedly mentioned by Iranian officials. It is open, only it is closed to the enemies of Iran and those who had a complicity in this unlawful, illegal aggression against Iran. It is a very special condition of war right now. Normally, after the war, there will be some talks between Iran and Oman as two littoral states to the Strait of Hormuz. And I think there will be a new regime in this to govern this strait. And it is not something irregular or something illegal. we are going to provide security, we are going to provide more environmental consideration in this Strait of Hormuz, and because of that, what we are doing right now, it's just to exert our own legitimate power in the region because of the special condition of war. But what you mentioned about the threats coming from the United States from the first day of this issue, they have repeated this. They have tried several ways to solve this issue. They begged other countries to join, but it is not an easy job. And now, since yesterday, they are talking about the blockade of Iran and the region, which will be counterproductive for sure. If they are going to manage the price of energy around the world, this is not going to work, and they can try it still. We are there waiting to see. But in fact, what we have been always emphasizing is that we need to respect each other. We need to respect the negotiation table, and we need to, as civilized people, if we claim that we are civilized people, we are civilized nation, we need to talk and to solve our issues based on respected talks and negotiations.
I fully agree with you. On that point, when you were mentioning about your management of the Strait of Hormuz, it is only not allowed for the enemies of Iran, but the friends of Iran. Okay, and Malaysia is a friend of Iran, so we also thank the Iranian government. Recently, our Prime Minister had direct talks with His Excellency President of Iran, and we managed to get our ships out of the Persian Gulf area. So I would like to come to a little bit on the Iran and Malaysia relations during this conflict was going on. How can this bilateral goodwill between Malaysia and Iran be leveraged into a broader multilateral framework, perhaps involving also ASEAN and other key Muslim majority states to support post-war reconstruction, especially there's a lot of things that need to be done following the war, maritime security, and also a more stable regional order in West Asia. And by the way, just as a note, I would like to say that just yesterday, our Prime Minister has backed Iran's right to self-defense to protect the nation of Iran. And also he has spoken with your president also. So these are positive elements. So can you talk about this, about the post-war reconstruction and how the multilateral framework can come about?
Yeah, in fact, first of all, I should reiterate what you mentioned about the very brotherly and very good relationship between Iran and Malaysia for years. We are brothers. In fact, not only in official level of bilateral relations, but even in our people, in both countries, are very sincere about what is happening in the other country, and it's very, very fortunate and very heartwarming. This is first. Secondly, we have been trying to reach out to different countries around the world, especially in adjacent areas. As you said, in our neighbor, we are working with so many countries. We have been trying to reach out to ASEAN in multilateral level as well. But one very important issue during last few decades regarding other countries' relationship and cooperation with Iran has been over compliance of the illegal sanctions against Iran, which has been hindering promotion and development of bilateral relations and multilateral cooperation between us. We are members of OIC. We are important countries in our region. We have been working very closely with each other, but I think this war is a very important turning point. I'm telling this not only because I'm an Iranian, but as an expert who has been working in international relations for years, about 3 decades. I can tell you, and I think you agree, that this war is expediting the change of the international order, is expediting the change of regional order in different parts of the world. Now, I think the whole world should understand that the big powers are not able to impose their will against our interests, against interests of the regional people, regional nations. So it is very important for us to understand and to be able to decide based on our own national interests independently, independent from the will, independent of the imposition of other powers. During last 1 or 2 years since the second round of Donald Trump in the White House, we have been witnessing a kind of imperial way of governance around the world. He is imposing sanctions against adversaries. He is imposing tariffs against its allies, and sometimes both tariffs and sanctions on some countries. But we need to understand that the world is changing, and the will and interest of the people and nations around the world is getting more weight, and it's now time. It's a very high time for us to understand this change and to pursue our cooperation and to develop and promote our bilateral relations, multilateral cooperations in different formats based on the interest of our own nations.
Yes, yes, I fully agree with you, because you were mentioning about, yes, Iran, of course, your interests, your national interests come first. And in terms of relations with other nations, you are non-aligned. You are not aligned to any power or any kind of thing. You decide what is best for in terms of of your relations. Now, then just a last point, which I think I started this conversation was regarding what's the future for, in the context of now that the talks have failed. Well, how do you see what will happen after this? Will there be war again, or do you think that there's going to be some just kind of a stalemate for the time being until a new proposal comes up, perhaps? And is Pakistan still working on this issue? What's your comments on that?
Still, we have some more days of this 2 weeks of ceasefire, and I'm very hopeful that the American side can understand the reality, can accept and read the reality of the battlefield. What happened during the war was very important. I think very shocking for them. They had a very simplistic and reductionist plan A, based on the misperception that Iran is weak and will collapse within few days of operation. As you saw, they even did not call it a war in the beginning. They call it an operation. They thought that it is
like in Venezuela.
Yes, yeah. This was a Venezuela case was a very important incentive for them to misunderstand the situation and misperceive
Yes,
the
yes,
realities. But Iran is not Venezuela. Venezuelan people are very respected. You know that we had a very good with a very good relation with the Venezuelan people. But what happened in Venezuela, I think, um, misled the U.S. Administration. I don't call it government because it was not a decision made by the U.S. government. It was a very small group around Donald
yes,
Trump, and I think the very important, the big issue here that they do not tell the truth to the president because
yes,
they just want to appease the
yeah,
president and they tell what he likes to hear.
yes,
So it is a very big pity. It is a very big, very big and disastrous mistake for the United States. As a very big and powerful country, we respect the people in the United States. We understand that they have also some interests and concerns. But what is now done by the US administration is very disastrous, first of all, for their own country, because they are putting a Israeli interests based first and even in an upper level than their own national interest. But if they understand the realities, if they accept the equations of the battlefield, what happened in the battlefield, I think the language of threat is not going to work. The language of imposition is not going to work. If they know Iranian psyche, they have to understand that Iranians are not going to surrender and yield under pressure and imposition. They can try a language of respect and they can see the result. I'm still hopeful that they come to know the reality and come back to the table with real good faith
of course.
based on the realities of the ground in the battlefield. And then I think we can reach to a compromise.
Yes, I think so too, because based on what we know, Iran is not just any country. It is a civilization. It is where civilization also flourished more than thousands of years. It is not something very small. So we have come to the end of our discussion, Dr. Alireza. Uh, I would I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for being with us. It's been very good discussion, and we pray that Iran will remain strong, uh, that peace will return. We want to see peace returning to that region as a whole, and it will benefit the people of Iran, the nation of Iran, and as well as the entire world, because this conflict is very detrimental to everyone.
Yeah.
It is not just Iran and the US or whatever. But this is the problem with the Zionists. They are not worried about other people. They only think about themselves. So they impose this. I'm talking about the Zionists after finishing what they did in Gaza. Now they want to extend it to everywhere. So this is the situation. Thank you very much for being with us. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum, and I thank you. I'm very grateful for your program. I think it can shed a light to a part of the realities what happened during the war, and I
Yes.
hope and I pray for peace and tranquility in every part of the world, including our
Yes.
region. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.